By the summer of 1945, Hiroshima was a densely packed military and manufacturing hub. 420,000 people lived in a sprawling geographic pocket wedged tightly between the Chugoku Mountains and the Seto Inland Sea. This data visualization tracks the anatomy of the blast. At exactly 8:15 a.m. on August 6th, the 16-kiloton weapon exploded 600 meters above the ground. Detonating at this height maximized the reach of the 4,000-degree heat and pushed shockwaves outward at nearly 440 meters per second. Within 30 minutes, 76,000 buildings, 90% of the city, were incinerated. 40% of all usable land was reduced to ash. For those who survived the initial flash, the landscape was unrecognizable. Keiko Ogura, who was 8 years old at the time, looked down from a nearby hill to find her hometown replaced by a burning wasteland. On the ground, survivors with severe radiation burns wandered aimlessly through the rubble. With the city engulfed in firestorms, thousands desperately sought out the ruined rivers to find water before they died. The municipal government office, which employed 1,000 people the day prior, saw only 80 workers report for duty on August 7th. The mayor was dead, thousands of civil servants were gone, and 14 of the city's 16 major hospitals had been destroyed. The blast dismantled the command structure needed to organize a rescue. Without a mayor, a bureaucracy, or a functional medical system, survivors were left to navigate the disaster in a total administrative vacuum. Without authorities to guide them, ordinary citizens and volunteers arriving from neighboring towns began restoring the city's basic functions just hours after the explosion. On August 7th, one day after the blast, the surviving police station was commandeered as a command center for relief operations. By that evening, power was restored to the Ujina area. By day 2, the Bank of Japan reopened. 18 workers had died inside the concrete building, yet surviving tellers set up operations in the ruins, serving customers under open skies and holding umbrellas when it rained. On day 3, a limited streetcar service resumed. These trains moved through the ruined city center to ferry supplies and wounded residents. By day 4, water pumps were patched and functional. Engineers managed to salvage equipment from the destroyed central telephone exchange, wiring together 14 experimental lines to re-establish communication with the outside world. In under 100 hours, power was restored, water pumps flowed, and transit returned to the wasteland. The restoration of basic services was a decentralized effort, proving that the city's functional life could be restarted even before the central government could intervene. On August 15th, Emperor Hirohito's radio broadcast confirmed Japan's surrender. The national directive immediately shifted from war-making to domestic survival and civic reconstruction. Local authorities launched a 5-year recovery plan, repurposing factories previously used for the war effort to produce canned food and basic goods for the local population. Then, the Makurazaki typhoon struck on September 17th. It flooded vast tracts of land and ruined the fragile temporary hospitals erected on the city's outskirts. However, the storm did provide one reprieve. The intense floodwaters washed massive amounts of residual radiation out of the soil and into the sea, lowering local radiation levels significantly. 5 years later, the outbreak of the Korean War sent demand for Japanese goods skyrocketing. Local factories saw a massive surge in production orders, providing the capital needed to push past the early stages of the rebuild. This boom eventually funded the physical reconstruction, but only after survivors endured years of hyperinflation and starvation. The combination of civic grit and industrial demand stabilized the city's economy, but the transition from wreckage to recovery took nearly a decade. As the rubble cleared, the question became what Hiroshima should become. In 1946, a local poetry contest sparked a vision of dedicating the rebuilt city as a global peace plaza rather than a regional military center. The local government lacked the tax revenue and state-owned land needed to execute this vision, as the city's finances had been decimated by the attack. The turning point arrived in 1949 with the Peace Memorial City Construction Law. This designated Hiroshima's special status, unlocking federal funding and transferring state-owned military land to the city for free. But the development had a social cost. Thousands of marginalized residents, including forced Korean laborers and the Burakumin underclass, were evicted from the project site, and forced into riverbank shantytowns with no access to water or power. Planners also faced a debate over the physical ruins. Many survivors wanted reminders of the trauma demolished, while others argued that the evidence of the bomb's power had to be preserved. Ultimately, they preserved the skeletal remains of the Prefectural Industrial Promotion Hall, now the A-Bomb Dome, as an architectural relic framed within the new Peace Memorial Park. Today, that monument is surrounded by a prosperous Japanese metropolis. Modern Hiroshima is home to 1.2 million people, a city of high-rise apartments and neon nightlife that has grown over its own ashes. As the last survivors age, the layout of the city acts as their proxy. It stands as physical proof that a society can take total destruction and engineer it into a permanent structural plea for global peace.